Charlie, I want to go back to the beginning. When this started, I was joking with Angela Suggs, and she said that she actually called Tanja first, got her blessing, and then she called you. How did that conversation go? You talked about it a little bit today, but how did that conversation go?
It was kind of short because I was on the bus trip heading to practice that Saturday or for shoot around, and essentially she just told me that I was the I was the first call and the only call, and so that kind of stuck out to me in the sense that because I had no idea, as I mentioned when I went to Portland, that I would be in this position today, but God knew what was happening through it all, and AD Suggs is one of the main reasons why I chose to be able to want to be a part of the FAMU family because of who she is, what she stands for, and I know her forward thinking is something that we all can get behind to be able to make us all be successful.
You mentioned before, when I spoke to you before, that you heard her vision. What was her vision? What did she tell you specifically that drew you to the FAMU job and solidified your choice to be the next head men's basketball coach?
Well, I mean, essentially that she wanted change, be able to bring the type of stability that FAMU is needed, and she's a alumnus as well, and so just understanding what success looks like long term, stability is always is the foundation, and for her being an alumnus and her path to get in here as well shows the great leadership that she's been able to have over the years, and so just being a part of her leadership was essentially there's really no speech in a sense, but just her journey to where she's wanting to take the athletic program.
You said today that this was the only collegiate job you were willing to take. Did coaching college ever cross your mind before? Was it something that you had envisioned taking that next step? But this was the only job you wanted to take.
I coached, you may know, I coached in the NBA for a couple of years. Then I got out of the NBA and went into high school, which scheduling was very conducive to family. Wasn't in the NBA, and college was very similar to the NBA as far as the schedule was concerned. And high school is a little bit more flexible. And so that's the reason why I was in high school and ended up, starting in football and then went to basketball. But as I shared, just not wanting to move again, and we were building a Champions Ranch, and so this is one of the jobs that I could see myself taking. And being a part of the FAMU family. As you know, there's a lot of legacy in my household between my mom and dad and my oldest sister, being an alumnus. And so just being able to kind of complete the triangle here in Tallahassee. I went to TCC at the time, went to Florida State, and now I'm here at FAMU. And so it's just being able to be a part of the Tallahassee community, which kind of helped me develop and grow into who I am today. So I'm just grateful that I'm able to be a part of it.
You mentioned your parents, and I want to get to that. You said that you kind of had to keep it quiet from your dad for a little bit. When you were able to finally share officially, like, hey, Dad, I'm going to don the orange and green, what was his reaction? Well,
I still haven't officially told him. It just kind of organically happened, but they knew because I told them a couple of days before, and then my mom was like, "Well, make sure you pray about it." But I know they were excited about the deal, an opportunity to be able to be here at FAMU, for me to be here at FAMU. And so also I knew that if I told them that it would got out a little sooner. So that's the reason why I chose to, keep it as close to the vest as possible, just to let them know that I was interested in the job. And then it actually happened. But I know they're excited, and they've been supporters of FAMU. And so I know they'll continue to support.
So what you're saying is if we have a secret, don't tell mom and dad.
Well, especially mom. Mom is the one that will spill the beans, and she's honest. She says if you don't want it to be told, don't tell her. So I kind of gave them bits and pieces through this whole process. But when it's all said and done, just grateful for the opportunity to be here. And sometimes in my life, it's hard to keep secrets, but I'm just grateful to be able to have that problem.
Now, you shared today some of your childhood memories coming to FAMU's campus, and you said many of you know me as a Seminole. I was born a Rattler. Talk about that and just some of those early childhood memories and kind of growing up wearing the orange and green and coming to FAMU and cheering on the Rattlers.
Yes. So, Thomasville, we used to come to all the Rattler games. My dad coached, of course, at Central. And so we actually had some of his players who came to FAMU. So we used to come and support them, go after the game and, shake the hands of a little kid at the time. And also, Tanja was in the marching band at Mays, and they would come down for, homecoming. And so that's another place where I actually saw her and her sister as they were growing up as well here at FAMU. And so it's kind of a full circle moment for all of us in a lot of ways. But just that's all I knew growing up, coming to the games, hanging out my aunt and cousins at their house, which was right up the hill as well. It's not there any longer, but we used to be able to walk from their place to the games. And so just all the great memories we used to have here at FAMU.
Favorite memory at FAMU? Let's go way back.
Well, there's a lot of great memories. There's really not one. But I was a big fan of Coach Rudy Hubbard because growing up, he was like Coach Bowden in the sense their TV show used to be on every Sunday morning. And so watching the Rudy Hubbard show was like one of the treats and then getting an opportunity to meet him. It was living legend, or legend at the time in my house, in my eyes, as a young lad. So being able to get an opportunity to meet him, along with Albert Chester. I was a big Albert Chester fan as well, number 2 with the towel. So that was some great memories that I can remember.
You said full circle moment, and you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. It's funny the way life works out, the way God intended. Is it a little surreal that you're going to step on the floor here at the Al Lawson Center and be the head coach after, again, growing up a Rattler, going to Florida State, playing in the NBA, coaching high school, and now you're the head coach here? A little surreal still?
Yeah, it is. And when I was coming along, I never thought that I would be doing that. But there are a lot of things that I didn't think I would be doing as a young lad. And as I just talk about, to our players, is you just have to enjoy each and every step and every moment because you never know. And you also want to make sure that while you're going through those steps, that you're leaving great legacy. Like your name carries weight. And so you want to make sure that you're doing everything possible so that if you have an opportunity to come back, people want you back. And so I've been blessed. My parents taught me that you make sure you don't burn bridges when you leave. And so I want to make sure that I didn't burn bridges, but I always wanted to be welcomed back wherever I've gone. And so back here in Tallahassee, the communities embraced us, with the Champions Ranch. FSU has embraced us. Florida State, FAMU has embraced us and will continue to embrace us now even more. And of course, TSC as well. But just the Tallahassee community has just been a great blessing for us.
Angela talked about today just the fundraising and wanting to, that's so important, is getting people in the seats, and said several times, go buy your season tickets. There's a lot of unique aspects to an HBCU job, and funding can be an issue. How do you plan to overcome that? How has Angela talked to you about ways to overcome that, and how will you address some of those issues you may face?
Well, it's just like being on the court in the field. You got to be creative, and that's one thing that I've been able to do, is be creative. And as I've shared, all the places I've been, I've run them like college, just because of my experiences. And we run a college, and we didn't have the budget of a college, but we worked to raise the funds to give our kids opportunities that colleges were going to provide them, because a lot of them were going to different colleges. And so we're going to be creative and trying to figure out how we can raise the necessary funds to be efficient in what we do. I know there might not be the plethora of extra, but we just have to be efficient with what we have, be good stewards of what we have. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are willing to support. I've gotten quite a few phone calls and just a lot of people interested in supporting. And so we'll see how that goes, but whatever we get, God says use it. Use it, be efficient, and be good stewards over it. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our part.
You talked about your vision for this program. You talked about PACE and what each of those letters stand for. But where do you see this program in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? What is your direct vision, the success you want to see for this FAMU program?
Well, we want to, of course, the ultimate goal is always winning. We want to have the best record possible at the end of the year. Of course, winning the SWAC and then going to the NCAA championship. That's the ultimate, the goals. But when we're starting to look at, putting a team together, chemistry is big. I've been a part of very good teams that had great chemistry and teams that didn't have great chemistry. And the ones that had great chemistry, regardless of the outcome, the process was great. And the ones that didn't have great chemistry, it was a drag the entire year. And so we know what that looks like, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best to put the right guys here to be able to fit, chemistry. Because when chemistry is off, things are out of whack. That's in life in general. And so we just want to make sure that we're doing our part to give our guys the best opportunity to be successful long term. Basketball is basketball, but the life choices that they make during basketball will help shape them, long term. And so that's what we want to do. We want to give them, we want to coach the whole, as I said, the whole child, but the whole player.
I would say high school child, now we got college young men. I was going to ask the next step. I don't know if we can see from this camera angle. Coach has already got on the shoes, so we've got the outfit kind of going. But what is the next step? We got the shoes. Now we got to get the players in, coaching staff. Where will that kind of fall into place over the next couple days, weeks, and months?
Well, of course, we have a plan of 30, 60, 100 days. We want to be at a certain point, and there are a lot of things that challenges and things that we're going to have to navigate through. But when it's all said and done, I got the staff, which is a great thing to be able to have the staff in place. We're starting to meet to be able to get a plan together. Also, the recruiting process as well, and I got to get a wrap around how many scholarships and players are coming back, and I know there are a lot of guys in the portal. That whole roster management. Also just talking to the AD about budgeting, what the budget looks like and how we're going to get to where we're trying to get to. Just got finished with HR today, which, that's a good thing as well. But it's going to be step by step, just trying to put it all together. And I do know one thing. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, this is not going to be built in a day. There'll be processes they have to go through, questions we have to ask, and things they have to continue to, put our best foot forward to make happen.
So you do have a staff already set. Can you name those staff yet? Are we there yet?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
But I do have a staff.
Okay.
And we're working to get support staff and those people in place as well. And so we'll be using all of our resources to make that happen. As I mentioned, all my steps, I've been blessed to be able to start preparing for this day. We used to get interns from FSU, sports management, to help us with our program at Florida High. That's one of the reasons why we were successful, because we had support staff, sports site, all those different things to be able to help our athletes be their best. And so we'll be doing the same thing here, looking to bridge these departments here to use the students to be able to help us be the best that we can be as a basketball program.
Couple final questions. The type of athlete you want, and I know you have to kind of get a wraparound of recruiting because that's going to be new too.
Yes.
What type of young man do you want in this FAMU program?
Well, the ones I had at Florida High. Yeah, I mean, we had a good group at Florida High over the years. And so, as you know, some of them are going on to play high major, some D2, some NAIA. And so we had a good mix of talent coming through. But one of the things that we're going to be asking our guys is that everyone, of course, has to play hard, play with purpose, sacrifice, understand their role, but be skilled. And so we'll be recruiting guys that meet that bill. In high school, you couldn't recruit, so you had to work with the guys that kind of came through the program. But here, you can kind of pick and choose certain guys and that fit your mold and what you want to build. But we like length. That's not at every position, but we like length. But you also have to be tough-minded. I wasn't a big guy, and so of course guys like myself, who's not very big, but they may have great heart. They understand their role, and we like winners. That's one of the things that we're targeting, guys who are coming from winning programs, because we know that they know how to win. They come from a winning program, they know how to win, and so we want to make sure that those habits are there.
Will, the question that I've had numerous people ask me to ask you, will we see FAMU and Florida State finally play? Because a little birdie told me that Luke Laux wants to get that game back on the schedule.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it when I talked to Luke. While I was going through this process, he helped me out with some things as far as transition and questions. So I've had quite a few coaches, that I've been able to lean on, that are great mentors for me. And during that time, Luke and I had talked about getting a game together. So we're gonna make it happen. It's been a long time, and it's literally right across the track, like 200 yards, if that, for us to make it happen. So it's not like we're going a long ways. And when we talk about budget and all that, that can definitely help the budget tremendously, because we just took a bus ride over. So yes, we will make it happen.
Final question, how excited are you?
Well, this is definitely an exciting time. Like I said, I enjoy every moment. So sometimes I don't show it, but deep down inside, I am excited about the opportunity. To be able to be here at my mom and dad and sister's alma mater. Of course, we've had numerous times over here for many different reasons. And as I said, this is really, even 4 years ago, I said this would be a great job for me. And then God opened the door to where it became a reality. So just excited about the challenge that's put before. And just like anything that I've done, all the years that I've been coaching, I've taken programs to where they were ready to be built. They had bones, they had foundation, but we have to elevate it and take it to another level. And so support plays a big part in how far you can go. And with AD Suggs and President Beard and all the Rattlers, I look forward to seeing how far we can go.
Awesome. Charlie, thank you.
Thank
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Can't wait to see you on the court.
Thank you.